Hi, I'm Charisse, and this is a book review on Steve Jobs' Life by Design by George Beahm. George Beahm, the author of the book, was a former U.S. major and currently a full-time nonfiction writer and also a New York Times bestselling author. He specializes in writing books about business and pop culture, and he has published more than 30 books in more than 20 countries on pop culture icons like Stephen King, Michael Jordan, shows like Big Bang Theory, and authors like J.K. Rowling and C.S. Lewis. So, going back to the book, as everyone may know, Steve Jobs, the subject of the book, is one of the founders of Apple along with Steve Wozniak. He is also the founder of Next and he helped build Pixar to what it is today. The book revolves around his commencement exercises speech in for the graduating class of Stanford University on the year 2005. The book is outlined by three personal stories in Jobs' speech, which he entitled Connecting the Dots, Love and Loss, and Death. In the first part talks about Steve Jobs dropping out of college to leading Apple to become a $1 billion company. It is trusting life's processes while doing our best, seizing each day. Love and Loss is about how Jobs lost his company, Apple, and on the other hand, founded Next and helped in the success of Pixar. Love and Loss also included meeting Laureen Powell, his true love and wife, and the mother of his three other kids. It's about finding and doing what you love. Finally, the third part of Steve Jobs' speech and of the book is about the acceptance of death and knowing that our time is limited, so we must live it with the most important things and people in mind. In each story, Steve Jobs shared bits of wisdom he gained from his experiences, which George Beahm broke down and expounded relative to how Jobs spent his life. So, for the most part of Steve Jobs' life, he was working. This remained consistent all throughout his life, and well, for each time he spent working on his dream, he spent less for his family. This was especially true for Lisa, his daughter with his ex-girlfriend, Chrisan Brennan. He supposedly supported Lisa financially, but he did not have an active physical presence in her life. Jobs, however, did better with his three children with Laureen Powell, considering children at that time as um, our hearts running outside our bodies. So, um, Beahm said that Steve was ready this time around. George Beahm also said to spend time with your children before it's too late. This is in relation to Steve's health because on the year 2003, Steve Jobs was diagnosed with a rare pancreatic cancer. The doctors said he had something called islet cell tumor or gastroenteropancreatic neuroendocrine tumor. Having an awareness of the limited nature of life and of time, including this diagnosis, Steve Jobs worked multiple projects for Apple to have products for years. He also made sure that Apple had a succession plan ready for when the time comes. Since the diagnosis, his family and his work had to take a back seat. Treating his illness became the first priority, and Jobs knew he was fighting for his life. During his speech on 2005, he discussed how he used death as a tool to push him to do the difficult and important things each day. He said that death awaits each and every person, and that death is life's change agent, making way for the new by getting rid of the old. During this time, he had just undergone a successful surgery, yet he would live only for about 6 years more after the speech. The book had quite a few symbolisms. One of it is connecting the dots. This phrase symbolizes how each event in our life causes another event, but we realize these relationships only when looking back. Steve said in his speech, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards." So, what then should be our outlook for the future if we can only appreciate events looking back? Steve said that we have to trust that those dots will connect somehow in the future. Trusting in something will give us the confidence, even if we walk down an uncommon path. Another symbolism is death. As previously stated, Steve Jobs described death as life's change agent, something that gets rid of the old and paves way for the new. With this mindset, Jobs made the best of each day as if it was his last. He once said, "We're here to put a dent in the universe. Otherwise, why else even be here?" He was on a mission each day of his life. So, what struck me the most in the book was how George Beahm depicted Steve as very human, telling readers of Steve's undesirable traits along with the desirable ones, and the mistakes behind the successes, some of which is his relationships. The three most important things for Steve Jobs were his work, family, and friends. But work was what took most of Steve's time. In the end, he had some regrets on the time he spent with his family. Though he had this heightened awareness of time and of the shortness of life, it is quite evident that he didn't achieve the balance he wished to have in the end. This is a very difficult task. However, we must find comfort in knowing the people or the things that we love, just as Jobs did. But I guess only in the consideration of our priorities. Knowing these will give us a head start in actually finding that perfect balance in life. So thank you for listening and God bless.